No, enough of that.
Enough of that.
I think that all the videos you see with this, that's somebody playing surf guitar, which of course, you know, why wouldn't you?
Right, well, welcome back to Andertons TV.
Hello, everybody.
This is a video about some products from a very cool Italian company called SurfyBear, Surfy Industries, I apologise. They have a Swedish technical director called Bjorn. And apparently, what is Bjorn
means
in?
bear.
It means bear. So there we go. So SurfyBear is where some of the product names have come from.
Do you think he goes surfing in I don't know where you go surfing in Sweden?
In the sea, I would expect.
Yeah, but cold.
Yeah, oh, in Sweden.
No, I mean, I used to go surfing.
I don't know if Sweden has a particularly good coastline for surfing. Like you say, bleeding cold.
I don't know.
Anyway, look. So these are all analog pedals. We've got some tremolos and vibes and fuzzes. We've got a little preamp pedal here. But I think they're most famous for recreating these vintage Fender style spring reverbs. Can we see the hole underneath that one, please, Mr. Pete? So they are, just to prove, there are real springs. And yes, believe it or not, guitar players out there was a time when guitar amplifiers didn't have reverb in them.
Yeah.
What?
Effects loops.
Yes, and you just had to play in big halls, and that's where the reverb came from. And then Fender, I think in the early 60s, created the first kind of external reverb device.
Yeah, the little head.
Tube-driven reverb device, and essentially that's what these kind of SurfyBear products are modern recreations of. The one in the metal housing here, we are using this through the effects loop of Pete's Victory Deputy. And actually for this bit here, we chose that amplifier because it's got a digital reverb in it and an effects loop. So using that amp, we're going to be able to show you how does a spring reverb sound different to the onboard digital reverb, and also how does it sound through the effects loop as opposed to in the front end, which would have been how everyone in the olden days had to use their reverb pedal.
Also, it says here, please like and subscribe, because we're only 35,000 away from 1 million. 35,000.
Volume, tone, mixer and dwell, pretty self-explanatory there. I quite like the volume control, which actually you don't get on this one.
Overall volume.
Well, because what actually often happens with this type of thing is when you switch it on, you lose a bit of volume. So this just allows you to compensate and bring it back in.
Right, so it works.
Yeah, so the idea is to balance it, so when it's switched off. Anyway, so let's just have a little listen.
Though.
We can go from a sort of a relatively modest amount of spring reverb here.
That's not modest. It's modest in your life of reverb. I'm playing this rather extravagant master-built Austin McNutt guitar. Not cheap, if you have to ask.
No, not cheap. And we have a matching telly and a matching Strat in this one-of-a-kind olive burst colour.
Yeah,
anyway.
olive drab burst. That's wonderful. I really like that you got the volume. That's great. Need more reverb. Dwell is decay, right?
And I guess if you crank the dwell up, you start to hear some of that drip, don't you?
And then you do tone, then you get the drip. Is that not a what is that song? It's Lana Del Rey song, isn't it?
Could be.
I think it sounds great.
It's just super
Sounds
authentic.
so good.
The main difference, I think, between this sort of slightly more vintage Tolex covered one and the metal covered one is we've got this the volume, the ability to boost the volume of this up just to balance it slightly better. Obviously, we've got on and off foot switch here, which you can either use the one on top of here, but I understand why they've given you a remote option as well, because you might get some clang if you do that.
Yeah, if you have this on the floor and you're dancing around and having a good time at a gig.
And then you can also use this optional extra Surfy drip switch, which gives you 2 levels of mix. So you've got the mix that's on here, or you can switch to the mix that's on here if you want to. Let's just get like a sort of an in-between kind of reverb, and I just want to go between the reverb that's in here and a typical digital reverb.
Are you right there, Pinocchio?
No, I'm tied up to my chair. That's what.
That's what you are every weekend.
Every week. It stops me running away. So give us a big chord and then switch that off. And here's digital. So you can hear, this is more of a plate style reverb in here, isn't it? So it's much cleaner and less of the clang in there, but obviously not as vintage.
Here's the SurfyBear. And it can be much brighter, this as well. That's the clang, isn't it? That's so much fun!
I'm just going to unplug you from the effects loop, Mr. Pete, and then very, very quickly, just if you take the, which is in, you take that one.
Okay, so you want to hear the front end.
Yeah, this is how it would have been done in the olden days.
Sounds the same.
It does sound the same, doesn't it?
Oh, I love that sound.
It's a great sounding reverb.
Such a good
sound. It is a great sounding reverb. Now, Surfy Industries do some other pedals as well. The SurfyFuzz is over here with this sort of USA Japanese switch and different vibes on it. But I feel like if we're going to go down the road of fuzzes and big spring reverbs, we might have to change the guitar player out for someone that's a little bit more into that kind of sound. So 3, 2, 1, oosh!
How the f*** are you?
Oh dear. Right, so this is Oz. You know Oz is. He's our resident sort of, alternative music expert. I want to plug this back in so that we've got the reverb going back through the effects loop, and I'm also going to add a tremolo in with this fuzz thing. And then we're going to talk about bands that might use these heavy fuzz, tremolo, reverb soundscapes. So signal chain is guitar into the SurfyFuzz, into the SurfyTrem, into the amplifier, out the effects loop of the amplifier through the SurfyBear Reverb. Monsieur Oz, please tweak and talk about the kind of music you might create with this sort of over-the-top reverb and fuzz rig.
Well, I think this definitely lends itself to like the modern kind of surfy stuff. It's like a bit garage rocky and just very drippy reverbs, and you have that kind of like cascadey fuzz and echoing, and it's really, really nice for the being able to get those. It's just lovely.
I'm not going to claim to know anything about this genre of music, but I was reminded of like a My Bloody Valentine kind of single note riffy, heavy fuzz, the reverb, maybe the tremolo system as well.
Yeah, all of that bleeds into a lot of the modern surf stuff like the Witches and the Blind Shake and stuff like that. So you have using trems and just absolutely huge reverbs, and you're getting that super, super springy, and pretty much every chord is every single chord is just hammering all over the
Would you mind just, taking a minute to sort of find some suitable riffs with this stuff, and then we'll just hear it, I guess.
It's already pretty good. sounds awesome.
You know when you play more sort of single note riffier stuff down at this maybe more sort of E and A string kind of, is there anything that comes to mind that makes you feel like...
The fuzz is really, really cool because it's not that kind of big muffy, thick, creamy fuzz. It just has that kind of, it's almost closer to the fuzz facey. And then the reverb allows it to kind of develop.
It's amazing how instantly 60s sounding this reverb has made it.
It's awesome. That sound is just carried like the whole Dick Dale. That's the sound. That is the sound. You know, it's awesome.
All right, amazing. All right, well look, I think we'll invite the wonderful Danish Pete back in to get more into these SurfyTrem pedals. So thank you so much, Mr. Oz. 3, 2, 1. Goosh!
I don't know where I went there. I went somewhere really dark.
Into the mind of Oz. Okay, now we've got a couple of other vibe or modulation pedals here we'll plug in. So let's get ourselves back in the room with a kind of a nice but subtle reverb sound.
It's a great sound.
Yeah. Squidgy.
That's a great...
Yeah, you've got two
really
settings
nice
on this particular one. You've got the Trem circuit out of either a Blackface Deluxe or a Brownface Deluxe. So, as you know what? I know they talk about the Brownface being the sort of perhaps slightly darker, more sort of tweedy era sound. I'm not familiar with what happens to the Trem circuit when you switch, but let's...
Oh, it's more pronounced. That's more soft wave.
Yeah. It's like with these two pedals, you know, this reverb and this pedal, you basically convert any sort of nice, clean sounding amplifier into a vintage Fender.
There you go. There you go.
It's a cool idea.
Disney Princess chord. That's lovely.
Okay, so the deluxe version of it is stereo in, stereo out, and also has a volume control on it as well as the intensity and speed.
Wow.
It's probably, and you can still switch between the two different modes. Do you know what? You can probably work that one out for yourself. If you'd rather have a stereo version of a Trem than a mono version, then that's the deluxe.
That's going to sound amazing,
one.
isn't it?
Shall we hear the vibe now?
Let's give me some vibe, baby.
So we've got two modes here, sweeping and vibrato. I'm not sure what sweeping means, but we'll find out now.
A darker one, wasn't it? Oh, it's nice, man.
It is really good.
It's more squishy, that one. Wait for it to die down. I'm hearing Mick in my background.
Yeah, don't talk over the reverb.
It's more almost like a little bit overdriven. You look like Mr. Bean just did.
Sorry.
Go back to the other one. Brighter, right?
must come down.
Spinning Wheel. That's a good song.
It is a great song.
Yeah,
I'm loving this. I want to know if I'm just being nostalgic because there's nothing digital is happening here. We've just gone analog vibe into an analog reverb through an analog valve amplifier. It's just, I don't know.
An analog guitar and some analog jack cables.
But I don't know.
Analog
it's hard. I wonder if it's another one of those. It's either psychosomatic or something that will be very difficult to translate across YouTube land. You know, it's like in the room, it just sounds magical.
Yeah, but that's the point of all of this stuff. It's the magic.
Could you? Perhaps we should have got Oz to do this, but I'm just going to show the different settings, a couple of different settings on the fuzz pedal.
Turn this down a little.
Yeah. So you got a Japanese mode, a USA mode. I mean, that was kind of like Japan and the US were making loads of classic fuzzes in the 60s. I don't know, where's the UK mode? We made good fuzzes too.
Yeah, we did.
Let's try it in Japan mode.
I'm almost hearing that vibe on still.
Wow! Proper good guitar sounds. Is it worth to say? I get it like a 2-second quick plug-in of this. I think it's basically identical to this, but without the extra features. So let's just quickly plug this in.
Here we go.
I think that's why you need the volume thing.
Yeah.
Look at how much reverb you kind of lose. Although I suppose in fairness, this you can't switch off. So I guess if you just turn the amp up. Whereas because I guess you can switch this off, you do need to be able to balance it. I like the look of this one better, but the functionality of that one better.
And this comes in white as well.
Does it?
Yeah, like a blonde Tolex. Yeah, you'll need that volume, but it sounds great.
Yeah, so it's basically the same reverb, but with less features. Okay, our last little pedal. This is an odd one, this one. This is called the Surfy Industries SurfyMan.
SurfyMan.
SurfyMan. She reads the news, doesn't she, for BBC at News at 10?
SurfyMan.
Hey, I'm SurfyMan. So this basically is designed to be either a preamp pedal that you put into the front of an amp or into the effects return of an amplifier, or you can, if you wish, plug it straight into the DI, which is what we have done. So you are now hearing the guitar plugged into the input of the SurfyMan.
Please like and subscribe.
Out of the SurfyMan into the SurfyBear, and then from the SurfyBear into the DI.
Yeah.
You could do it the other way around. You could go into the SurfyBear first, then into this. All the speaker emulation that you're hearing now, and the reason it still sounds sort of fat and juicy and realistic, is just an analog speaker emulation within the SurfyMan. No, nothing digital going on, which is rather refreshing in a world of IRs and all that kind of stuff, just to go, no, we haven't got any of that, just using an output. Well, if Pete plays, I'll give you an idea of some of the tones. struggling to hear any difference with these two different modes here, but let's give you an idea. Do you know what? There's a kind of a driven vibe to this, but it's not like, you know, a distortion pedal type thing, but you can get a bit of...
But it is that broken sound the Fender sounds like, there's all
I wonder if that's a little bit where the speaker emulation is more realistic the cleaner the sound is on here. I think when you get into the driven thing, it's not the greatest.
But cool, man.
I like the tremolo effect in here. It's got that lovely chewy
baka.
I quite like the idea that I think I could Velcro this to the top of this.
Yeah.
It would be a nice little sort of...
At the end of the board.
Wow, or a studio. You just wanted something nice and simple to be able to have on your desk at home. I mean, it's very cool.
Great. Cool stuff, man. Cool stuff.
So that's the little SurfyMan thing. So Andertons is stocking the full range of Surfy industry products. You can head on over to our website to find out more.
Links below. Like and subscribe.
I think you'll be pleasantly surprised at some of the pricing here, particularly on the reverbs. They're not as
expensive
as crazy as I thought they might
no.
be. Certainly it's a heck of a lot less than Fender charge for the reissue of their reverbs.
Are they expensive?
Yes, they are.
Well, there you go then.
Well, there we are.
Yeah.
Happy days?
Yeah, happy days.
Thanks, guys. See you soon. Bye-bye.